Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Taylor Tuesday. Today is January 20th, 2026. Want to thank you all, as usual, for taking time away from your families to be able to learn a little bit about something that we have to offer here at Taylor Medical. We do Taylor Tuesdays the third Tuesday of every month. And it has been a little bit of a pleasure for us to be able to do stuff like this. Taylor is physician-owned and operated. Jeff DeSantis, my partner, and I started Taylor in 2016. Our concept was to create something for providers, by providers, with a mission and understanding what we do and the challenges of the foot and ankle space. I can tell you that what I've learned in the last 10 years on ordering and cost savings and finding the right vendors has changed everything. We are the largest podiatric GPO. We've united 32 top vendors to help deliver discounts and simplified purchasing for thousands of prices. But it's not just about getting a widget. It's about teaching you how to use that widget. When you want to implement things into your practice, Taylor doesn't just want to sell you something. We want to teach you how to do it and how to use it. In fact, that's probably one of the best parts of what we're going to enjoy about tonight, because tonight we're going to learn from an expert on how to implement a service that is going to benefit our patients, but also going to benefit the health of our practices, which is stuff that we're all about. We have 32 different partners that we work with, and we continue to grow. I like to tell everybody that before you buy anything, please call Taylor Medical to see if we can help you. We can help you with insurances other than your malpractice insurance. We can help you with computers. We can help you with food for your office. We can help you with office, anything that you need. I think you should give us a call and at least let us have the opportunity to show you what we can do. There are a lot of advantages for Taylor Medical. I think the first and most important thing is we don't charge anything to join Taylor. Okay, we developed this company. It is a business, and we work with the vendors, but we are able to do this with no membership fees to our members. I think something else that's really important that I don't have on this slide, but I think that's an advantage of our membership, is that before we ever started giving dividends to our shareholders who invested in the company and believed in us when we started, we established a scholarship for the future of podiatric medical students who go to school. Taylor Medical has already donated $50,000 to the APMA Educational Foundation. Every time you utilize Taylor Medical, every time you purchase from Taylor Medical, we give back to the podiatric profession. We do have exclusive discounts. We have premier vendor networks. We have practice growth tools. We have clinical education. We're going to help your staff get streamlined with ordering and make their life easier. And we're physician-owned and operated. We understand the pains that you go through in your practice. Today's webinar is going to be on the Remy. In my opinion, it's probably the best laser that I used when I was in clinical practice, and I only hear amazing things from all my colleagues and everybody that utilizes the device. The device has changed and gotten better over the years, more applications and more abilities to use this laser in your practice. What I am going to tell you is, if you're not utilizing Taylor Medical, we'll do a free cost analysis for your practice. We will show you if we can save you money, where we can save you money. We will help you. We can be your single point of contact. Instead of having to reach out to 30 vendors when you're having problems, you can contact us. Our dedicated sales team will help facilitate any issues or problems that you have with any of the vendors. So you can contact us. This is my personal cell number, my personal cell, and then our website below. You can submit any information that you have on the website. If you're working with our salespeople, you probably have their personal cell numbers. We're here to help you. Tonight, we're talking about the Class 4 laser review. We're going to talk about comparison of modalities for the lower extremity. We have one of the pioneers, I think, in technology for the podiatric space, Dr. David Zucherman. I'm glad to have him here. He flew in personally from France to do this for me. Anyway, David's been doing this for many years. He's got 20 plus years of clinical experience with lasers. He's a pioneer in developing and training advanced new treatment techniques protocols for many applications from toenail fungus, surgery, and therapy. He launched the Remy Class IV Laser in 2018. It's now in over 1,000 podiatric practices. David, I think I'm going to turn it over to you. Sarah, you're going to take control of my screen.
Absolutely. Yep. I will go ahead and share my screen here. David, if you want to go ahead and just tell a little bit more about your background while I'm taking care of
Well,
that, and then we'll
well,
go ahead and
first
get
of
started.
all, I want to thank Ira for inviting me to this. It was a beautiful introduction. It's amazing how you can see. I don't have. It feels like forever that I was, on Taylor Medical, but I just am amazed listening, for your introduction with Taylor Medical, how you've grown. And the one thing that the Remy has in common with Taylor Medical, I'm sure there's other things, is the patient comes first, and we're a business. You're entitled to make money, but the patient comes first. You got to get great products, great results, and you have to have great support. And it's all the same, anything with any successful product. They all have to do the same thing. So when we talk about the Remy, we have questions here. Can you afford it? Well, the interesting thing about the Remy is my first laser that I purchased was a CO2 laser. It just did warts. It cost me $36,000 in 1984. And that's when I realized you can't have one laser that does fungus toenails, one that does pain, one that does surgery, and the warts. You can't have that. The Remy was put together. It's multifunctional. It's one laser that does many things, and it's multi-revenue producing for the practice. I could talk forever about affording it. We're direct manufacturers, which means that, uh, you know, you're going to get the best price you possibly can because there's no middleman. We produce everything directly. So the Remy prices are, and you'll see the pricing. It's just very affordable. In fact, years ago I made up it's powerful, portable, and affordable. You can't spend $50,000 on a late pain laser, another 30 on a fungus nail, and another 25 on a you're going to spend $100,000. Yeah, you may treat a lot of patients, but again, you got to think like business people. What happens if it breaks? Service is extremely important to me. I could talk 3 hours on these subjects. I better pick it up a little bit. It's a 5-year warranty on the laser, 1 year in all the handpieces. And if the handpieces have to be replaced, they're not thousands of dollars. We're not here to make money on accessories. We're here to make a great laser, give you great service so that you refer to us. And over 80% of the Remy sales are either multiple lasers purchased within a practice or from another podiatrist. And that's the way, you should look at your practice too. I was always taught to be successful in your practice, try to get the best result. Actually, there was a word that was used, but do the best job you can. And everybody says, how do I get patients to pay cash? This is not the payment, because the laser is reasonably priced. You don't have to charge thousands of dollars. It's hundreds of dollars. But the beauty of the Remy is the training. I teach you and work with you. I want to build a laser center. I always say it's not here's the Remy, here's the manual, goodbye, good luck. I'm here to build a practice, and I teach you. The interesting thing about people say, what's the line? How do you sell it? You don't sell lasers. The definition of a doctor is a teacher. We teach the patient what's in the best interest. And the beautiful thing with the pain portion, just with the pain portion, the Remy, I teach you how to get the patient significantly out of pain the first visit so they get a sample of it. Training is extremely important. It's what I love and I enjoy the most. Everybody gets training for a lifetime. All doctors get CME credits. I just did 3 trainings with staff members today. It's little things. It's not hard. The Remy is very easy to use. We have training tapes, we have manuals, but I have found a one-on-one Zoom or Google Meet. You talk to everybody gets to use it. We demonstrate it. You need coaching. This is an old one. Should I buy a used or new one? Most used lasers, the answer is no. The Remy is so affordable. You want that 5-year warranty. You want that support. Typical used lasers out in the market cost more than a new Remy. And it's not that the Remy is a cheaply made laser. We're the manufacturer. Plus, we buy in tremendous volume. If FDA cleared. Now, the word should be FDA registered. When you buy any product, I don't care what it is, there's a difference between a 510K cleared and registered. Register is used registered with the FDA. Cleared means that you have provided safety and efficacy. What I mean by safety is the Remy actually to get FDA 510 cleared, and it's for warts, surgery, fungus, and pain. It's all 510K cleared. You had to have a third party come in to prove it was safe. So the safety of the Remy was not done in-house. It has to be done in-house. That's a big, you got to ask. There's a lot of equipment out there. I'm not saying it's bad equipment, but it's cheaper and quicker and faster to get cleared. Registers the correct word. Let's go to the next slide. This is something I've been saying from the beginning. A laser has to be effective. If it's not helping patients, I just got a testimonial today. I didn't even ask for it. I get them. I'm always asking, is the Remy helping your patients? And are you making money? And it was a chiropractor today. She had our Remy 45 watt, and she forgot the password. It was right in front of her. So I put in, I said, how you doing? She writes me this testimony. It's the first time. She's done over 1,000 cases just for pain. 1,000. And I'm saying to myself, how'd you do 1,000? I drew the numbers. Well, she's had it for 6 years. So it's got to be effective. And effectiveness, you can have a great laser, but you need the training. There's little pointers that I try my best to teach you, which is important. You can use the Remy and get a result, but I want you to get phenomenal results. So the biggest thing with the Remy, and they call it the Swiss Army knife. One of our sales reps is a good friend of mine, Avi, came up with the words years ago. It was back in doc shop days. The Swiss Army knife of podiatry, which means it's multifunctional. It does pain, it does fungus, it does warts with no anesthetic. I even made it where the warts are covered by insurance, which is important. It's a hybrid. Not you got a lot of practices out there. I have helped a lot of practices. I've had people say to me, I'm not bragging, I'm just telling you the way it is. They've said to me, if it wasn't for the Remy, I wouldn't have made it my first year. Lasers attract patients. Patients, when they hear the word or see the word laser, and when I opened up, I had the word laser therapy center. They bring patients in because it makes you high tech, and hey, maybe they have the answer for me. The return on investment, and it's anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 a month, and typically around 6 months you've paid for it. But the key is marketing, and we're going to get into marketing. You have to have great marketing. And I tell you one thing, Sarah Brimmeyer has been phenomenal. She's been with me from day one. The Remy's her baby. And you got to have a good marketer, somebody that's got, ideas. So the thing is that, I train in the veterinary world. I train. The Remy's been at the Kentucky Derby. It's in the NFL, the NBA. In fact, we now have marketing that shows it's trusted. We have all the logos. We're always developing the marketing for all the sports practice. They show all the logos of your favorite teams in the NFL and in, the NBA and baseball. Trusted by these professionals. That's why we have in the office. And the beauty of the marketing is, and Sarah will tell you more about it, is it's not this template where she throws at you. She tweaks it for each practice, the colors, the pictures. She'll change the words for you. We're here to make it work because not every practice is the same as another practice. You got to think about it a little bit. I guess we're ready. So training to me is very, very important. It's something I take very, very serious. I've done 6 trainings today. It's what I love. What power lever makes the most sense for the foot and ankle? My philosophy is on all pain, you want to put in as much energy as you can comfortably because it's all about dosage. When you're treating pain, you've got to get a lot of energy into the cells to get them working again and then the functioning again. We'll go over the lasers. The standard and the most popular, and it's losing popularity because we're always advancing. It's not a bad laser. A 30-watt laser is still the king. It's the Rolls Royce in podiatry, but we're introducing in the last 5 years, I never made it for podiatry, but our 45-watt has been getting more popular. And it's because when you add more wavelengths, you can up the power and it's comfortable. Years ago, you had one wavelength. You could never get the 45 watts, 60 watts. It hurt. It was like a blowtorch. So I always like to get the best penetration, and it's based on the highest average power and the highest peak power. We can go we have lasers 90 watts, and I'm not here to say the most expensive because all our lasers are in a group where it's reasonably priced. It's not like Laser X is $20,000 more. I made them all affordable so you can pick and we can discuss what's best for you. What's the difference between class 4 and class 3 lasers? Well, class 4, or that's what the Remy is. They don't use the word class 4. It's because you can have a class 4 laser. It's only 10 watts. The definition of a class 4 laser is anything over a half a watt. The proper term that they're starting to use is high intensity lasers. Lasers get up 30 watts, 45 watts. We have 60-watt lasers that are comfortable. So things are always moving forward. My goal is to get the best laser because the whole it starts with the patient, not our business. So does size matter? No. All our lasers are portable. All our lasers are portable. Are 30, and are there many modalities that treat conditions? Well, the Remy, it's the only multifunctional, the Swiss Army knife. You can't buy, again, I repeat this is a business. You can't go out. I see practices, I scratch my head. I want to say to them, I want a Remy. I want to turn around and say to them, what are you doing with the other stuff you have? You got a shockwave. You got you got a war. You got all this equipment. What are you doing? If I had one choice, I would only have a high-powered laser. It can do it all. It's got to be multifunctional. How does the Class 4 laser compare to shockwave therapy for pain? A lot of people are combining them, mixing. When you say shockwave, are we talking radial, focused? Shockwave is a generic word. But the popular thing is now a lot of people, because they have shockwaves, they're combining it. You don't need it. Is it helpful? Yes. Is the evidence showing that when you combine them, it's better? It's starting to go in that direction. Starting to. But shockwave hurts. Remy is all comfortable. You want that patient to have a wonderful experience. There's an old saying my father used to say in chiropody. He was a podiatrist, chiropodist. You limp in and you walk out comfortable, feeling good. With a laser, you leave feeling good and it doesn't hurt. Next slide. That's key. Patient, it's a long. How does the Class 4 laser compare to CO2 lasers for warts? A CO2 laser is a surgical laser. The Remy is a surgical laser. You can numb it up and you can cut something out, excise it. But you can also, we have a program, the non-anesthetic, where you can treat the wart without a needle. So you have multiple options. now. And it's much more cost effective to have the Remy's a diode surgical laser, much more cost effective to own something like that than a CO2 laser. So it's got two avenues. One is non-anesthetic. You can also numb it out, make an incision, cut it out, ablate it. Most podiatrists are not doing that at all. They're using the non-anesthetic because the patient can walk in, have it done, walk out, no bandages, no cutting. And somebody asked me, well, I use cantharone, I use salicylic acid. That's fine. But there's nothing. There's no salicylic acid, no maceration, no blisters. They have it done. They can get it wet and they move on. It's just another option. I'm not saying, I mean, we all grew up with salicylic acid using it. It's easy, quick, and fast. But if you think of it from the patient's viewpoint, it's macerating, it peels. It's a pain, and it's a pain. You know, Remy is very clean and easy. Next slide. What's the average rate for a class 4 laser? How long does it take to get a return on investment? I'm shocked. I'll tell you an interesting. I just got a text from as we were doing this from a podiatrist. It said, I think he's buying the Remy. He says, I think the rates are high. And I'm going to write back to him, all the rates are high. You're never going to beat a finance company. But what I'm going to tell you something I want you to do. You never, let's say you have a 5-year lease. You don't go out to the 5 years. You save some of the money from the revenues. And as most finance companies, you have to hold it for 1 year, no matter what you're buying. You pay it off at the end of the year. And that's it. Get rid of it. Get out of debt. You can't have debt. You got to have cash flow. I'm very happy to talk to anybody like that. You'd be surprised what the accumulation of interest is it's like a house and a mortgage. The interest accumulation costs more than a house. You have to pay it off early and fast. That's the key. That's why you finance. It saves you cash flow, but you don't wait the 5 years to pay it off. And that's what I'm going to say. As a new practitioner, I'm going to say, I'm going to show you a program. You're going to make money on this, but you're not going to go spend it. You're going to save it. And I'm going to show you how to save it. Next slide. So here's the classical Remy, 4 pounds. It's powerful, portable. You can even take it on the airplane. They all come in beautiful shockproof, waterproof cases. You can carry this one around. It's a 30-watt laser. The original 30-watt lasers that I work with were 75 pounds. This is 4 pounds, and it's affordable. It's less than there is you'll see at the end for coming tonight and being a part of Talar Medical. You get a better price because I like what Talar Medical's doing. The 45, this has become very popular in podiatry now. It's like an F-35 with pain. The fungus and the warts do the same thing as all my lasers. They're all the same programs and protocols. But the pain in the 45, it's faster. It's faster, quicker, and deeper. It's like the 30 is a Rolls Royce. This is an F-35. And it's affordable. You're talking, well, you'll see the exact price on it. It's here. But they all are multifunction. They all have the same foundation. Powerful, portable, affordable, and multifunctional. That's the key, multifunctional. Next slide. Sarah, if you wish, I could do it, or would you like to talk a little bit about
Yeah.
the marketing is important, extremely important.
Yes, I'm happy to speak about our exciting and customized marketing toolkit. So one of the things that I always talk about the Remy Laser, and obviously as a part of the Remy team, I'm always going to be biased, and so I can never be able to say it's legitimately the best laser, and because of all of these reasons, no one's ever going to be able to say, oh well, you're just saying that. But well, I am on the Remy team, but I'm not just saying that. David has put together launched the laser in 2018, a program that for podiatrists specifically, you just can't beat it. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel sorry for anyone who tries to come into the podiatry game with a class 4 laser, because with the pricing of the Remy, in addition to the service of starting with David, and the team continues to grow, and everyone has the same vision and the same values. You literally can't get a better team. And then when you pair it with a marketing toolkit that is customized to your brand, the awareness and the immediate turnkey aspect of it, it just allows you to do exactly what David said a second ago. You start making money hand over fist. And we have so many testimonials of podiatrists speaking about how quickly they were able to make
Pay it
their
off.
return on their investment. And then David said, save it. Kind of lucky for us, a lot of times we see them invest in another laser. So that's what we see happen a lot of times. So maybe you start with a 30 watt and then invest in a 45 if things that keep going really well. But I digress a little bit, but with the marketing kit, you can see here, I just got a couple of quick sample pictures of the items. You print material. So we have multiple trifold brochures with all of the different functions that Remy does. We want to make sure that your patients aren't confused with what that means. Obviously, they don't really know what trinkets you're pulling out of your drawers to do a specific treatment. That's obviously more important to you to have one piece of equipment and multiple revenue streams. But so we do want to make sure that you have marketing tools for all of those revenue streams. So we have brochures for pain, we have brochures for warts, for onychomycosis, for neuropathy, and some practices prefer to have wounds included in the neuropathy brochure. I've had other practices say, hey, this is confusing. This is just supposed to be about neuropathy, not neuropathy and diabetic ulcers. And so, like David said, we work with each practice. We are a super personal touch type of organization. And, as we continue to grow, that is never going to be lost. And so I'll work with you personally to get a high-res logo on all of your materials, practice posters, same thing. And the marketing kit continues to evolve.
Yeah.
When we first started, people were wanting newspaper templates, and those aren't really requested all that much anymore. Instead, we're doing a lot more of social media requests, and you definitely the educational videos that go onto the websites of practices, and then we also allow you to download it so you can put it on a screen in your waiting room or in your treatment rooms. There are so many different ways that you could use these marketing tools, and again, we just work with you, our entire team, to make sure you get exactly what you need to make the ROI as quickly as you possibly can. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever knew this, Sarah, but on every training that I do, I always say to the doctor, because we give them the videos for their website, even for their TVs, you've made slideshows, but I always tell them, you're the brand doctor. When you're ready, I wish more would do this. You do a video. Dr. Barkhoff started this in New York. He'd have a video of himself talking about a procedure, and then he'd say, how'd you do, Mrs. Jones? I still remember some of them because they had masks on.
Oh yeah, those are great videos.
And that was my classmate.
And
Matt and I went to school together.
Pardon me?
Matt Barkhoff and I were classmates.
He's a great
He's
stories.
fantastic.
Yeah, he is amazing. We've become very close friends. But my point is that you're the brand, okay? We want to, the Remy, yeah, of course I want it branded, but I want it where they see you as the doctor talking about it. They want to listen to, there's two things that the patients want to see in videos and marketing. They want to see the doctor talking about the procedure, and two is they want to see patient results of the patient talking about it. And Barkhoff did a great job. I got to tell you, and it's I never planned the Remy to be where it is today. I just never did that at all. We've had the podiatry schools wanting to put it in. I'm like, what are you talking about? But lasers are the future. They're getting better and better. I want to make them more affordable, even more affordable. But they're affordable already. And, to me, I always say I pinch myself, it's more than 1,000 practices. I mean, but it's, we even have, this is fun. We even have one in Cambodia where they're treating elephants with it. It's amazing for veterinary medicine. But anyway, we have a special, as you can see here. If by the end of the month you saw the pricing, we're going to give you $1,000 off any laser that you purchase. We have every Remy comes with a customized cart. It's not this Amazon cart or an eBay cart. They're all custom. It's got to look like $1 million. That's even an old version that's on there right now. It's even better. We're always looking. I'm always looking. The team that I have are always looking to make it better so that you can present it better. I could go on about some of the things I'm working on. Wait till you see it. You know, that roller ball, if you go back for a second, you'll see the, I don't know if you can flip the side back for a second. I've been the roller ball. We developed a roller ball that it just rolls on the skin. It's phenomenal. It's just a phenomenal thing. And it wasn't cheap. I spent $10,000 just developing the mold for it. So we're always looking to get it better experiences for your patients, because a happy patient refers you, just like you as a client refers, because we want you happy. Here's the, is this the, yeah, this is it. This is an interesting thing here. This is the a finance. And I was talking about this earlier. We have great finance people, no money, $0 for 6 months and then 99 for the next 6 months. Then it's a fixed rate. You want to make that you want to pay this damn thing off. You don't want to go out 5 years, just like your house. Who would I wish I knew now, when I waited the 30 years to buy my house off. I should have doubled and tripled the payments off. I had the money, get out of debt. When you're out of debt, you're safe. That's what you want to do. So I think we've ended this. Where are we now with questions, comments?
I'm going to give you some questions, and I'm going to put Sarah. Can I take the screen back so I can put up a Talar? There you go. Thank you.
No, I want it forever.
I have questions that I think the doctor should be. I don't know the questions you're bringing up, but I'll answer them. But I have questions.
I know. I have a list of questions from you.
Yeah, it was from Sarah, but I never read them.
It's okay.
But I have questions that I think the doctor should be asking me, that if we
then
can
you go ahead. We listen.
Now we'll do yours. We'll do yours. It's easier.
Well, no, I listen to you, talk to yourself.
I'll tell you one short thing.
Yes.
The Remy has a 5-year warranty on it. The most expensive part of a laser is the diode. That's what produces the light. The light out there. So if you buy a laser from XYZ, what's it cost to replace the diode? It could cost you $10,000. We don't do that because we have the parts. I'm not here to nickel and dime you on accessories and diodes. It's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. Try car dealerships do it. They sell you a car and they're making money. It drives me crazy. They're making money in the service and the parts and all that. We want you happy. So let's go to your questions.
So I'm going to ask you some, we have some questions, but clinically, David, I know that a lot of doctors have put together different packages, whether they want to treat musculoskeletal conditions, inflammatory conditions, warts or nails. Do you have recommended protocols like for, Achilles tendonitis or posterior tibial tendonitis? Do you have some clinical guidelines that you recommend?
Okay, the first thing is you want to put as much power into the area. We only have 2 moves with the Remy. Anything on the bottom of the foot, we do the whole bottom of the foot at full power. That's the protocol, but I'll get into the numbers. And this is a thing that I think separates a little bit, is all lasers are poorly absorbed. And there's only the science behind it is light energy gets into the mitochondria, produces ATP, charges the cells, and get a whole series and cascade of events. But the most important thing is clinical feedback. The first thing that happens when you got to look at when you have pain, inflammation, arthritis. This is part of my training. The cells are little batteries. They're dead. All we're doing is charging the cells. Okay? Just like you charge your iPhone or your iPad. There's only one way you know that the cells are charged, and that's clinical feedback. You press on the plantar medial insertion, it hurts. You treat the whole area for 5 minutes. You repress on it again. If it just feels okay, it's underdosed. You got to charge it longer. So the patient, and this is the beauty of when you're using the laser for pain, Achilles, is the problem with lasers is you're underdosing. You gotta get as much, you can't hurt the foot. You can underdose it. So I always say, when you palpate and the patient says, it feels a little better, you wait a minute, repeat it again. You want significant relief, whether it's Achilles, tendonitis, plantar fascia, and there's a reason why I want that, because the patient gets a sample of tremendous relief, and then they'll understand. Mrs. Jones, we got you out of pain. You're doing well. How's it feel? Have them stand on it, let them press on it. But you know something? You can't heal something in one session. We're going to prescribe 6 additional treatments twice a week for 3 weeks to get it to heal. And I go into more explanation. But the point is, with the pain, I always say, if I was in room A treating pain and you're in room B treating fungus, I triple the practice, because fungus takes time. It takes months to see the result. With pain, boom, it's on. And the key is, you got to know when you've hit the right dosage. It's not a guess, it's palpation. I hope I didn't get off on that.
No, you didn't. And so, David, when you sell a package, do you recommend with certain different conditions, I'm giving an example, is Achilles tendonitis,
No.
6 packages, is posterior tib, 4.
Everything is, I'll give you a couple examples. Everything is 6 treatments twice a week for 3 weeks. Now, what's it going to, I always say, I do a presentation for the doctor, well, I'm jumping ahead. Well, what's it going to cost, doctor? Well, it's a laser session. It could be anywhere from $50 to $150. 20 years ago, I charged $60. $60. The average is about $80, but they need 6 additional treatments. So it's a package of $180. I once had but I just don't say you do. I evaluate your practice to determine what you should charge, and I base it on orthotics. I always say to the doctor, "Hey, do you customize biomechanical orthotics that insurance doesn't cover it, and then you present it? Patient pays for it." Yeah, sure. Now this isn't insurance. Well, how many is it? We do about 3 a week. I've had one guy do 15 a week, charging $800. I said, well, that's what you're going to charge for the laser. You don't want to charge more than the practice is used to charging. I'll teach you how to up your pricing, but I'll give you one example. I'm talking to this doctor in Miami, and he says to me, I've never charged more than $75. They're not going to pay $300 or $400. I said, so don't do that. Charge $75 every 2 weeks until you've hit the 6 treatments. And he's making a fortune, because I have to determine what your comfort level is. It's the most important thing with the laser is, forget about the money. Get out there and learn the laser and get results. The money will flow. That's the key. But I have a good 10-minute conversation with each doctor about packages. It's all over the place. You can charge $80 if they, per session singly, but they got to understand that they need a minimum of 6 treatments, even if they feel great.
Well, you make an interesting thing. I remember when I was in practice in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I had started there about 30 years ago. I think there are some different socioeconomic markets that people practice in. And I guess I'm wondering if you have any guidance for the doctors who are practicing in some areas that may not be affluent areas, because I believe personally that if you believe in the treatment and the patient thinks that you're trying to help them, they're going to listen to what you have to say. But I'm just wondering how you find with utilizing this type of service, are doctors who are in non-affluent areas able to implement this in their practice?
Hey, I'm going to tell you from personal experience, there's an old saying I was taught, the patient is the reflection of the doctor. If you think they can't afford it, they can't afford it. Again, this is not thousands of dollars. I could tell you a story. I once sold a laser to a doctor in the east side of Cleveland, and I thought it was, blue collar. He had a nice office. He showed it to me pictures, and he was concerned that they wouldn't pay for it. Then he eventually told me there's a shooting on the corner every week. I said, "Are you kidding me?" The point is, you can adjust your fees. Your return investment may be a little bit longer. I don't recommend charging office visits except initially for an evaluation management. But the beauty of it is I put in to the laser the warts, which is insurance covered. So it's a hybrid. So you don't have to worry about that 350. I always say if you can afford $350 a month on a lease to buy a laser, you shouldn't buy one. But I made it so that you don't have to have that pressure. Oh my God, are they going to pay for it? Believe me, they will pay for it. I could tell you story after story after story. The only advice I can give is don't prejudge the patient. Let them say no. Don't you say no.
You're preaching to the choir, David. You are preaching to the choir.
And I just want to add one thing. I don't want to feel like I'm high above this. Of course, I've had people say no to me. It's too expensive. And I once had a podiatrist say to me, and I believe this. I said, "Are you afraid to present fees?" And he said, "No, absolutely not." I said, "You're a liar." We're doctors. We're always nervous about presenting a fee. It's in our psyche. If I
Listen,
once had a doctor in Georgia, Peachtree Podiatry, she said, "I love your laser. I can't present the fee." So I said, "Don't have your staff do it."
I agree.
Every practice is different. I help you get through these, but it hasn't laser. I mean, tell you, people are seeking out lasers right now. It's all over the country. They want lasers. It's not like it was 20, 15, 20 years ago. What do you mean a laser? They are looking for you. You don't need to have everybody accept it. If you have, I'll tell you, it's okay. It works. The program we does work. And the question is probably that you asked me, Ira, is old. It's over. Yeah, it's over. We've had it in Medicaid practices where, you can just take you can take the copays and make a fortune on this. But anyway, let's move on.
No, I think that you're saying some good things. The other question is, are there, do doctors pair the laser with other treatment modalities that they're doing?
Yes. Yes.
So it's not something that they can do it standalone, but they will do better if they pair it with other treatments that correct?
That's a personal selection. Shockwave is. I'm not against shockwave. I've been involved with it I still have an ESWT mobile company. I know ESWT inside, it still exists. It's over 25 years old. I could talk 2 hours on ESWT and shockwave. I don't like shockwave because it hurts. Okay. But, if it's real acute and painful, you want to use the laser. You don't want to use a shockwave. You may want to, it does cavitate. It does break up some fibrosis, but they're showing that the high energy Remy's do the same thing. But if you have one, I got to tell you one thing. If I had a choice to go out and buy one, I wouldn't. If you want one, I'll show you how to pair it together. We have very successful, I adapt. I'm not going to sit there and if I was a new practitioner, I would never have them buy a shockwave machine ever. You invest in the Remy because lasers, it's comfortable, it's much more affordable, and it's multifunctional. If you want a shockwave, you bring it in later. I'll teach you how to use it, but you never want to use a shockwave in an acute condition and you're going towards the bone. They're going to jump right off the table.
No, I agree. I agree. Listen, David, I think that you covered everything. I don't have the other questions that I have are things that you've already spoke about and covered.
Okay. Does anybody in the audience have a question?
I do not have an audience question anymore.
Were there any? Just curious.
One.
Oh, okay.
I asked it in my language. I translate.
Well, I will tell you one thing. I'm just starting something, and anybody that signs up can get it. We did it for a while. It's going to be called Laser Chat, where I'm going to talk about various subjects. 1 minute. It could be about anything. It won't be about the weather. I hear we're getting 20 inches of snow in New York. Did you hear about that this weekend?
I heard people are flying out early. I'm hoping I get out after last time I got stuck in in New York City, I was doing Snow Angels on Broadway.
Were you with Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that story. I didn't know you were there. I hope we do Snow Angels. I've never done one in years.
Yep.
I didn't know you were there with that one.
Listen, I was there for many years. But anyway, David, I really want to thank you for your time tonight and your expertise and your congeniality and explaining everything. To me, this is kind of what Talar's about. We're not just looking to sell things. We're trying to help people make their practices better, get better patient outcomes, and then and make a living while they're doing it. I think that's really important.
I just want to make one comment when you're finished. Is I've had the privilege to talk to hundreds of podiatrists out there in the train. Podiatry is alive and well. Trust me, it's alive and well. And two is, I am so impressed with the education. I always say, I don't know if I get into podiatry school today. 3-year surgical training, a 1-year fellowship. It's just like, that's a whole nother topic about the MDs. I have an opinion. They should be giving them the MD degree. That's how qualified you guys are. They're just, our profession is so alive and well.
I think in medicine, David, you can do anything that you want in podiatry.
It's a wonderful. I'm third generation podiatrist. The problem is the insurance companies. We got to get control. I don't think we ever will though, but we got to get control. The way to get control is don't play the game.
Right. Well, we can probably talk about this all night long and people want to get back to their family. So I want to just remind everybody, please contact us at Talar Medical. This is my personal cell, my personal email address. Here's our website. Let us do a free cost analysis. Let us tell you how we can help you with your practice. Next month, we're having a webinar on peptides. I think peptides in podiatric medicine and surgery has been growing tremendously. I will tell you that I'm personally taking 7 different peptides and having laser treatment done 3 times a week, not twice a week, to help me rehab my knee replacement and my torn glute medius muscle. So I'm somebody who practices what he preaches. Anyway, again, thank you so much for joining us today. Our next session is going to be on February 23rd. And we're going to be talking about peptides in podiatric medicine and surgery. David, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I will see you in New York this week and we'll have a cigar.
I'm looking forward to it. Have a great night.
Bye.